In today's tutorial, let's do some finger crochet together and put that to great use as we do an Afghan. I'm going to show you how to be able to do this very simple. This is all the instructions are, just this little piece, and we're going to be able to do this right after this. Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd as well as yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today's tutorial we are going to experience this particular Afghan. This is called finger crochet, so leave those crochet hooks in your bag. Do not pull those out because if you got fingers you are able to do this. So without further ado, let me show you how to do this. We're going to start off with a starting chain, and then everything else is just single crochets using your fingers going all the way across until you get to everything that you need. So we're going to be using two different colors today in this particular example. So there's 3 balls of each, and they are the Bernat blanket line. So whether you're choosing to do the baby blanket style or even just the decor style, it's really quite an awesome idea. So you use 2 balls at the same time. There's only 6 balls required for an Afghan, and I'm going to show you how we do the chain next. Okay, so I have 2 strands here. So if you're using the pattern, you're just gonna have 2 strands. So if you want a solid color Afghan, use the same color obviously. So I'm going to use blue and green. I know they don't really go together that great, but for tutorial on a white background, perfect. So let's start off with a slip knot first and point. Okay, so I'm gonna teach this like it's a beginner crocheter. So point is if you're gossiping across the table at somebody and you're talking about that person, point away and then take this hand and just rotate it around your finger twice. Okay, so just point around your finger twice. Now using your other 3 fingers here, just grab everything. So this is the back of my hand, this is the forward. Take the back loop and just move it up over top onto the other side of the finger like so, and then take the new back one and up and over like that. Okay, so real time, so just around your finger twice, back of my hand to the forward, the new back one up and over. So there is your slip knot. So because we're using our fingers, we have to be able to get these knots big enough that your fingers can fit in. So their pointer finger plus your thumb needs to fit into the gapping spaces just like this. Okay, so a child size version would be a lot tighter because their hands are smaller, and for me I got man hands, so my stitches will be a lot bigger. So this is very judgmental based on the size of your hands. Now the trick to doing this is that it takes a bit of practice, but it reminds me of somebody sitting on a couch popping that bubble wrap. It's kind of what it reminds me of, and you know, you just want to sit there and do something, but you don't necessarily want to crochet. So I'm gonna start off really loose, and I'm just going to use my pointer finger and thumb and just grab the yarn, and I have the yarn sitting in my hand like I would with normal crochet. So up and over the hand between the pinky and this finger, the ring finger. Okay, and I have that in there so it's stabilized, and so I'm just gonna grab with my pointer and my thumb and pull through. So I wanna make sure that I'm leaving enough space so that I can fit my finger and thumb back through there. So just grab and pull, and I wanna pull enough so I can continue to grab more and grab and pull. Now I found getting started for the very first time really quite cumbersome, but then what happens is that you find your rhythm and you find your own speed, and you just continue just to open it up, grab, pull through. So just open, pull like this. So I'm doing it relatively loose just for tutorial purposes today. So I just continue to go all the way down, and then if you're following the pattern you only have to do 41 of these, and going and it looks like just a regular chain but just exaggerated because your fingers are obviously bigger than a crochet hook, and just continue to go all the way. So once you get all the way to the other end, what do we need to do to go back the other direction? So every line going backward is now going to be single crochet. So in this case, because we're starting on the first chain, we don't chain one first, but we immediately go to the next chain available to you, which is right here. Okay, so see how it's up there, and you slip your fingers through that chain and grab the yarn, pull through, and you leave on the first loop that you can see on my thumb here, and you just adjust, and then you grab the yarn and pull through both. That is a single crochet. So then I move to the next chain that's available to you, which is right here. Okay, do you see how this is already occupied? So you come into the next chain, so just squeeze your fingers through and through, pull through, just the one set of loops only. So now you have 2 left on your fingers, yarn over and pull through not yarn over, just grab and pull. Sorry, I'm thinking I've got a hook in my hand and I don't. So just come to the next chain. It's right here. So your tension really matters. So if you have a really tight starting chain, it's hard to get your fingers through. You just pull through. You got 2 on your hands. Just grab and pull through. And we're gonna continue all the way down the chain in the same fashion, going all the way down. Just take your time. It takes a bit of getting used to, but it's actually kind of a cool effect, and you can leave your hook out. It really, if you like to fiddle on the couch or do something with your hands, this is a great opportunity to kind of just release the crochet hook for a little bit. And don't get rid of your crochet hook, because I'm gonna want to teach you other stuff down in the future, but you can just finger crochet yourself across. So again, your tension makes a huge difference on this. So if I were you and you were me, I would actually consider doing a practice sample first and then rip it out and then go for the main example if you're going for this Afghan. Okay, so just continue to go all the way down your line, and I'll show you how to turn around and go back in the other direction. So I'm coming up all the way to the end. I only have 1 loop left, and this is it. So this is my ending. So okay, so now we're gonna turn our work and go back in the other direction. So let's carry on number 2. So we're just gonna start up by chaining 1 first. So we're gonna pull through. So this is row 2, and this is the same row that's gonna be in all of them. And what we need to do is kind of identify the stitches that are going on top. So here's the first set of stitches. There will be 4 strings in each one of the stitches. Okay, so remember, front loops is the front section, back loops is the back, but together they make a stitch. So using your finger, just squeeze yourself into that stitch, pull through. Okay, and you have 2 sets now on your thumb and pointer, and just yarn over, pull through. So you continue on down the chain, or down the stitches, and just look for it. So you got 2 sets of strings, and just put your fingers through, grab it. And again, this takes a little bit of practice, so I'm kind of rough on camera. I've been practicing a little bit, but I think by the time you get to a few rows of these, it'll be a lot easier to be able to master. So you're just gonna continue to go all the way down, looking for 2 sets of strings. And your eyes will get used to it as well. You know, the colors make the world of difference as well if you're trying to find your stitches as well. So light stitches or light yarn would be probably the best. So you're just gonna single crochet yourself all the way down the chain like you would. So please continue to do that. So I'm coming up all the way to the end. There will be 1 stitch left at the very end, and that concludes off that round. So as it gets bigger, it gets easier to work with, just like so, and you can start to see that the stitches are looking a lot more consistent. So let's start up the next one. So they're all the same going forward. So you yarn or pull through 1, that's chain 1, going into this stitch, the first one, just like that. So now it's starting to use different kinds of fingers. When I say different kind of fingers, instead of you know, I'm actually getting a little bit used to it, so I'm kind of getting more lazier and just kind of doing more stitch manipulation with my fingers to do it. And isn't that the kind of the cool thing about crochet and knitting, is that once you find your voice, you can actually do your own thing, make it work for you, and have a project that you're pretty proud of. You know, it's not about everybody doing the exact same thing. We're not an ant colony. We are crocheters. We have creativity, and if you can figure out easier ways to do things, then by all means, that's all the power to you. So you're gonna start seeing the consistencies coming up in your project, and again, the size of your hands makes a difference on the size of your Afghan, but this would be kind of a neat project to be able to work on while you're watching TV. I'll have to keep an eye on it a little bit for where your stitches are, but I'm finding myself getting a lot more easier to be able to manipulate this. So I'm almost done. I got 2 more stitches to go. At least I think I do. Like so. So I got 1 more stitch to go. Do you see how it's kind of not finished? So I just want to make sure I get that final one in. So, and then just grab and pull through. So that's kind of like the 3rd row. Let's see, like that. So you can really kind of see it starting to come together, and this is how you would do finger crochet. I know it's a little bit crude as far as like it's not as consistent, but you know what, things in life are never meant to be perfect, but you know, a little bit of practice and you can be able to manipulate the yarn to do whatever you need it to do. So until next time, Mikey on behalf of Yarnspirations as well as thecrochetcrowd.com, enjoy finger crochet, and I'd love to see your blankets online, and please be able to post those as well for us to be able to gawk at your creativity. Till next time, Mikey on behalf of thecrochetcrowd.com.